Joined now by Stephen Barrett, who's a barrister and a writer. Stephen, hello to you again. Yesterday, we were saying, right, Rishi's going to put his house on Plan A and lose. You predicted that. This morning, it seems that was the case. But now here we go again, a dramatic U-turn, it seems, a get-out-jail card, potentially. They're saying, actually, we will proceed with Rwanda, but we won't have to deport anybody from there if they fail their claim. They will stay in Rwanda. Can this legally work? And if so, why didn't they announce it all along?
Well, I think that probably is the most important question with Plan B, because it's not, there is nothing compelling you to just try one thing at a time. You are allowed to try two things, or even, goodness forbid, Martin, you might have to sit down for this, perhaps even three things at once in order to try and get this problem solved. So there are very serious questions about that. When the government lost in the Court of Appeal, there was quite a lot of pressure to say, well, just have Parliament declare Rwanda safe, or declare that Rwanda is competent in this. Use Parliament, stop using the courts. Because one of the things, when we have had some attacks on the judiciary, I'm completely neutral on those, because in a free society, you can have attacks on the judiciary, and we have them from both sides in politics. They tend to be rather pithy and forthright from one side, and they tend to be rather overly intellectual and turgid from the other side. But it's fair to say both sides in politics criticise the judiciary from time to time. But what I want the public to notice, or perhaps if they saw Lord Reid do it, is how pained the judges looked. So we've built a system, and it's a relatively modern system in legal terms, really quite new, that forces the judges to make these kinds of decisions. Is Rwanda capable of carrying out assessments of refugees and sending them somewhere safe? The judges came under enormous pressure from lobby groups. I mean, really constitutionally unprecedented pressure. And I have to say, I mean, they sided with the UN, but daily, Martin, you will know as I know that the UN is looking, let's be honest and candid, the UN is looking dodgier and dodgier every day. You know, more and more is coming out about how the UN has turned a blind eye for 16 years to the behaviour in Gaza. You know, that Hamas didn't get under a hospital overnight, and all sorts of other questionable activities are happening connected with the UN, not least of all putting Iran in charge of human rights, which, you know, it's a political position whether or not you think Iran ought to be in charge of human rights. But I would suggest that the outcome is pretty obvious on that question, but it is for your viewers to decide themselves. And so we are asking judges to make decisions that were more traditionally made by Parliament. And that's where Suella is right. And actually, if this crisis restores that principle, if we grow up again, if we get back to the idea that Parliament actually can legislate, because what's been going on, and if there has been any pressure on the Prime Minister, or if there has been any political decision to just use a farce to kick the can down the road, what's been going on is that we've known that certain people in politics will have a, frankly, hysterical is the accurate word to use here, hysterical reaction to certain suggestions of changes in law. Okay, and we have been almost letting the toddler lead us by its tantrums, and that's not how a grown-up country can run. No,
okay, Stephen Barrett, we have to leave it there. We could talk all day, informative and entertaining as ever. Thanks for joining us on the show.